And then, I don't know if you've looked at it, but on the stone it says May 30th, 2012. That's today, isn't it?
Amen.
That's what I thought. Yeah. That's today's date. The reason we've got today's date on it will be very apparent to you here as we get into the message. But the reason the date's on it is because tonight everybody under this tent is going to make a decision. Everybody. Not just some of them, not just the preacher and the faithful few. Every person under this tent is going to make a decision tonight. You have no choice. Sorry, I didn't say that. The Lord did. And I'll show you why He said that. If we, the first night I preached on hell. Second night I preached on the cross. Third night I preached on obedience. The fourth night I preached on purity, and tonight I'm going to preach on commitment. Commitment. One thing we find, and I did a lot of research when I was writing this sermon and various things I've written for the college. You know one of the problems law enforcement has? You can have 4 people see the same crime and give you 4 different stories. That's a problem. Witnesses can be fallible. If you're looking at someone shooting someone that way, I saw him shoot him, okay? But this witness over here, from a different point of view, may notice somebody else over there with a different pistol that the other witness didn't even know was there. Anybody remember when President Kennedy got shot? You know, they said there was one shooter. Now they're saying there were 4. Only one of them hit him, but they had 4 of them there. They had the one guy up in the book repository up there, and then they had 3 more. And so they don't know if 2 of them shot him or just one. They think just one got him. But the problem with witnesses, it depends on your point of view. Now, standing over here, I can see that guy. He wasn't even shooting at that one. He was shooting at somebody next to him over there. And it was that guy over there that actually shot him. Then another witness that might be standing over behind a pole, they heard a shot and they turned around, and the guy that was here that was going to go to jail for murder, he'd already put his gun in his pocket, so they said no, he couldn't have shot him because he didn't have a gun. Now, these are all truthful witnesses. They just see things from a different point of view. Another problem law enforcement has is about 40% of your memories are what people tell you happened. You think back when you were a child. I remember things from my childhood that are just as vivid as could be. And as I got older, I found out they didn't really happen that way at all. It's just the stories in the family and people telling the stories of things that had happened, and everybody, if you could tell something to one person over here, they could whisper it in their ear, and then whisper it, and by the time they got over here, it wouldn't even be the same story. Oh, it might have the same characters in it, but it wouldn't have the same story. And so 40% of our memories are really based mostly upon what people tell us happened. So witnesses, their point of view can make the stories different. Your memories, that's why the police want to talk to everybody right there at the scene, right? Because if they let them go home and talk to them 3-4 days later, they've already talked to other people, and part of their memory of what they saw is going to be what people tell them they thought happened. And we may not do that on purpose. I mean, you know, it could be just, well, not could be, it's just the way our minds are built. We assimilate everything. You're the sum total of everything you do and everything you hear for your whole life. So we assimilate it. Then there's other witnesses that just flat out lie. I mean, they just lie. That's why in the Old Testament, I wish we had this today in the courts. You know what the sentence was for perjury in the Old Testament? Whatever you tried to get for the other guy. If I lied about you and said, no, he murdered that person, they found out later I was lying, they would execute me because I tried to get him the death penalty. If I said he stole something and then found out later, not that it was me, but I want to get him in trouble, he stole something and I lie about it, and they find out later I lied, he didn't really steal it, I would serve the 2 to 5 or whatever they were going to give you, that's what they gave me. I wish we had that in courts today. We'd have a whole lot less lying. And so people can be mistaken because of the point of view of where they're at when they witness. They can be mistaken because of talking to other people and assimilating that in. They can be mistaken just simply because they're lying And then, if a guy does something, you can't even make him testify against himself. I take the Fifth Amendment. I refuse to answer on the grounds it may incriminate me. That's not just something new. That's the way it's always been. That's why God has laws for the Jew for perjury. If whatever I try to get you, that's what they're going to give me. Right up to and including the death penalty. God also says he has a problem because people are liars. They can be mistaken, but also some of them just flat out lie. In fact, the last Gallup poll I read said that 86% of the people in the United States claim to be Christian. Now that's everybody that claims to be Christian. But 86%, 84% of the people in the United States, according to the poll, lie as a regular part of their life. Not just once in a while. I mean, you know, not just, well, you know, I don't want to tell them what really happened. No. 84% of the people in the United States, according to the poll, lie as a regular part of their life. They lie to their boss. They lie to their wife. They lie to the kids. They lie to the, you know, they lie to their friends. Well, you know, if 86% claim to be Christian and 84% claim to be liars as a regular part of their life, do you think there's some overlap there? I think there's a whole bunch of overlap there. Because I know people that would tell you a lie when the truth would do better. Yeah. And these are Christians. I had one man tell me one time, you wouldn't know him, but I wouldn't name him anyway. He told me one time, I was not allowed to tell the people in the congregation something that they had a right to know. It was my wife and I were leaving. We were going to go start a church down in Mesquite, Nevada. And the pastor said, you can't tell them you're leaving. I said, well, them people have a right to know because we're not in church on Sunday night. I'm over preaching in a church over here trying to get some support, you know. And maybe on a Wednesday night we'd miss and we'd go over there. And the pastor said, that's fine because you got to get some support. So you have, I never got any. I've never gone anywhere with any support. And you could tell the Lord's just starving me to death. Right. Yeah. If you believe that, then you didn't eat one of them cookies either. No. If that's not the truth, this is not the truth. And so, but those people had a right to know why the associate pastor was not in service on Sunday night and Wednesday night. Now, if I was gone on Sunday night, I'd make sure I was there Wednesday, but maybe next time I'd be gone Wednesday, and, you know, I'd make sure I was there Sunday. They had a right to know why we weren't in church. And a church is supposed to be happy when you send out a missionary. I mean, aren't they? Isn't that what churches are for? You know, we're sheep. Who begets sheep? Well, the sheep beget sheep. And so churches beget churches. And so and he told me, you can't tell them, you know, it'll destroy this church if you tell them you're leaving. I thought, how's that going to destroy the church? I said, they have a right to know. I said, so really, if I don't tell them what they have a right to know, then I'm lying to them. He said, oh no, withholding the truth is not telling a lie. That one just didn't settle right. That just did not settle right with me. There's no such thing as a half lie or a 99.9% lie or a 99.99999 and ad infinitum ad nauseum lie. It's either the truth or a lie. And so people do lie, and withholding the truth is one that Christians are good at. Selective truth. Selective truth. They'll tell you this much, but they know you're going to misunderstand if they don't tell you this little added detail, but they'll leave it out because they want you to, but I didn't lie. No, there are lies of omission and there are lies of commission. Just like there are sins of commission and there are sins of omission. If a man that knoweth to do right and doeth it not, to him it is sin. It's just that simple. And it's the same way. Christians lie to one another. I'm not saying y'all are liars. I'm not saying